Marlon Wayans has just dropped a bombshell. His oldest kid has come out as trans. His epic response will surprise you, while at exactly the same time, conservative snowflakes are losing their minds over the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, plus why the United States has broken with almost every other country to support Israel, no matter what they do, and 60-second headlines, right now on Notice News. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Springer, and this is Notice News, your daily update on all the news you need to know. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell to stay updated. Okay, so legendary comic Marlon Wayans is perhaps best known for his role on the classic 90s sitcom The Wayans Brothers, and for movies like Scary Movie, Scary Movie 2, and White Chicks.
You wanna talk about this?
Earlier this week, he revealed this bombshell about his oldest kid.
My daughter, I have a daughter that transitioned into a son. My daughter Amai is now Kai.
Truthful.
And so and so I talk about the transition, not her their transition, but my transition as a parent.
Now, celebrities with trans kids is nothing new. Sade has been supportive of her trans son Isaac. Charlize Theron has a young trans daughter, and Chaz Bono is the trans son of legendary Sonny and Cher. But what is new is what Marlon is doing. He's making a whole new comedy special about how he came to accept and love his son, no matter what.
As a parent, going from ignorance and denial to complete unconditional love and acceptance.
This comes as anti-LGBTQ hate groups have stepped up their attacks on the trans community. For instance, earlier this week, the fascist Christian group 1 Million Moms launched an online petition to boycott the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, saying it's not suitable for children. Now, what makes it so offensive, you ask? Is it the planned hardcore bondage scene between the Snoopy balloon and the Bluey balloon? No, this unfamily-friendly parade will feature performances from two gender non-conforming Broadway stars, Anne Juliet's Justin David Sullivan and Alex Newell, who won a Tony for the musical Shut. The very presence of these two people in the parade has led the group to dub it as a, quote, trans extravaganza. This kind of shit is violent because it has real-world harm. Suicide rates among trans youth are astronomically high compared to their non-trans peers. And to make it worse, usually groups like these take hateful stands to ignite a culture war, and surprise, surprise, they're funded by wealthy donors who have an active interest in shifting focus away from real problems, like letting people realize they're getting financially because the same candidates these groups support also support deregulation, continued tax cuts for huge corporations, and undermining anything that helps the working class get ahead, like universal health care and labor unions. What were we talking about? Oh right, Marlon Wayans. Thank God for decent people like Marlon Wayans. I wish more were like him. His comedy special about all of this is currently in the works. Moving on, as the death toll in Gaza has topped 11,000 people, with the vast majority of the dead being women and children, why does the United States unflinchingly support Israel? In the days after Hamas's brutal terrorist attack, President Biden said this.
The United States stands with Israel. We will not ever fail to have their back. And my administration's support for Israel's security is rock solid and unwavering.
Well, according to Vox, our government's special relationship with Israel has roots going back to the Cold War. After Israel single-handedly defeated its Arab neighbors in 1967, the United States saw a strong potential ally it could rely on to counter Soviet power in the region without much help. Remember, this was the same time that the United States was mired in its own failed invasion of Vietnam, which was also meant to blunt Soviet power. After 9/11, the alliance took on renewed importance as the US looked to Israel to stabilize a region as the US launched two more failed invasions, one of Afghanistan and one of Iraq. According to experts, that's a big reason the US props up Israel so much for, quote, stability in the Middle East. But critics say that stability is just code for making sure the region stays open for exploitation by huge corporations. That's because corporations need stable, effective governments who will keep workers in line as they take all the oil from the ground and reap all of the profits. Meanwhile, offering stability is a big business in and of itself. The United States has given over $317 billion in aid to Israel since 1946, far and away the most we've given to any country. That aid money is basically a big handout to the incredibly profitable defense industry, the companies like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman that make the very expensive weapons and technology that keeps a region, quote, stable. To be fair, there are other reasons the US supports Israel. Some are good, like until recently, the shared value of democracy, while others are bad, like Christian Zionism, the up belief that Jews have to control the Holy Land in order for Jesus to return, which, by the way, is not in the Bible and yet still believed by a frighteningly large number of people. But money is a big part of it, and an unstable Middle East is a Middle East that the ruling class in America can't make money off of, and I mean a lot of money, billions, if not trillions of dollars from oil. All right, let's get a timer going for 60-second headlines. A teen in Las Vegas is dead after being attacked by 15 people for trying to defend his friend, and at least part of the attack was caught on video and shared on social media. The 17-year-old was sticking up for a smaller friend who was being bullied before the crowd of other teens turned on him. In a shocking leaked video, a former Trump crony who's flipped on the disgraced ex-president said that in the days after the 2020 election, top White House official Dan Scavino said this.
He said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave.
Ellis said she asked him, what do you mean?
He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. And I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize. And he said, we don't care.
Meanwhile, Trump is still leading President Biden in the most recent polls. Jesus Christ, do we have any good news? Okay, here's this. A determined dog in the UK helped find his owner's cat that had been missing for 6 days. Okay, that is nice. The BBC says the animal's owner had almost given up hope when she saw her dog Lucy going, quote, berserk near a well, which lo and behold, the cat had fallen down. The whole family has been happily reunited. That's it for today. If you want to find out more about something I covered, links to sources and references are down below in the description, including a link to that full dog and cat story. Make sure to like and subscribe to get notice news here on YouTube, and go follow us on Snapchat and TikTok. I'll see you back here on Thursday.